Man, what's up with it, y'all? Yeah. Give me 1 second. Let me post these thumbnails real fast. I was looking at this video, I had to come and talk about this, get your thoughts on this little situation right here. I won't call it a little situation because this was kind of wild, but I put together I threw in a few other videos to show, just to show, other things of this nature that's kind of going on. And we're gonna kind of jump right into it. We're gonna jump right into it. Right now. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we're gonna jump right into it and let her break it down in the beginning of what's going on. Let's go.
Yo, this little boy was found by a kayaker. His daddy literally left him in the water. And let me show y'all exactly what his daddy had to say about it. So before I show y'all the dad, let me show you what happened. Okay, so the dude kayaking, he just out there on his own having
this the one that I'm showing before because I don't know. I think I did it because it just shows how, some people think
a good time, and the little boy just floating around in distress. He like, yo, what's up, little boy? How you get here? The little boy like, my daddy and I was out here, but he unanchored the boat and went back to the shore. What? You left your child in the water, bro? What? So if you're familiar with kayaking and all, you know, like literally any false move and baby, that thing is over and it's gonna be water inside. So the kayaker had to do a lot of work and to figure out how he was gonna get this little boy back to shore.
How old are you?
Okay, so as you see, he's literally just having conversations with the little boy, just trying to keep him up and trying to keep him in good energy and whatnot. They end up getting back to shore where they call the police.
We're gonna get you all fixed up here, Jack. David.
Okay, so the little boy daddy finally get here, y'all. Look at what he has to say about it.
Yeah. Calm down, slowly swim to shore. Yep. You got this. We've been in this before. Yep.
A lot of reactions have been negative towards the father and towards the father's actions of that day. So I was really concerned about the welfare.
I mean, he left him out there in the water.
Sir, it's cold. I'm by myself. I cannot properly swim. How can I get myself to shore? And then joked and said, you might be seeing me again. Had that been us, that baby would have been taken. Y'all, what do y'all think about this? Okay, y'all.
I think that is outrageous because he literally went home. He didn't even, he went home. Like he left, docked the boat, got out and went home. And left the boy out there, bro. That is wild crazy.
So I just wanted to address this video real quick of my family and I helping this young boy across the river the other day. Most of the comments are really positive, but some of them are really negative, and some girl made a video making some wild claims about us, so I just wanted to address a few things. First of all, when we were first paddling down the river, all we could hear was their voices. Sound travels really easy on water, so we could only hear voices. We could not see them. We couldn't hear exactly what they were saying. As we got closer, I could kind of make out what they were saying more. I could tell it was more serious than I first thought, but I still didn't understand what was going on. As we got close enough, I noticed that the voices sounded like teenagers, and then once we could see them, that's when I noticed the entire situation unfolding. He first said that he couldn't swim and that they gave him a life jacket, but when I saw him, the life jacket was really small. Water, I'm on the water all the time. Water is so unforgiving, it can turn deadly in a split second. There was a current that day, there was wind, and he said he couldn't swim well. That was a recipe for disaster, so I knew right then and there I wasn't going to leave him to just cross on his own. So like I said before, I didn't understand what was going on. They were laughing, they were bantering back and forth, they were talking crap to each other. I didn't know what was happening, but then they also seemed like they knew each other, they were friends. So I was so confused, but I helped him across. He got the back of our board. Paddle boards are hard to get on if you're in like waist deep water. They're kind of hard to get up on. So he just hung to the back of the board. We got him straight across the river. And then as we were dropping him off, he was like talking crap to his friends and sticking up for himself. So my husband was laughing, like good for him. He was sticking up for himself. Anyway, this whole situation was such a learning moment for not only my family, but for that boy and the friends, and obviously God wanted the internet to see it too, because this was a huge learning moment. I know for myself and my kids and my husband. Absolutely unreal. Anyway, Marquise has gotten home safe and sound. He has checked in. Everything's okay. Hopefully this was a learning lesson for him and an eye-opener as to who he keeps as company. One thing I do want to point out that I noticed about all the negative comments and like the people dissecting this and saying it's not good enough or we should have done more, most of them are actually the same color as me, so that's kind of weird to notice. You would think that everyone would be happy that a life was saved, so.
Please said that word, because I'm glad you could hear that from a mile away.
It's like, ah!
No, that was, imagine if the thing was freaking...
They just paddling and chilling. And then they start to hear all this commotion. They talking shit too.
You can swim down, River, you fucking retard. Bro, how am I gonna get you back home? You don't think Mama Marquise is gonna be worried?
Wow.
Your mom is always worried about you. I think that's why. When your dad is in prison, we know, we can tell just by looking at you. Bro, we get it, you can't swim, but we just got you. Have a fucking life jacket on, Marquise.
I'll just wait.
Bro, you have a life jacket.
No, I'm black. It doesn't matter. It's not gonna save me.
Bro, yes it does.
Bro, I'll just find a way. Hey. Yeah, they think I'm about to go back, but I can't.
Bro, you have a life jacket.
I'm gonna die.
Standing right
Hold
now.
on to the
You
back
have to
of the
go
board.
on.
I'm just trying to get over there.
Wow.
We taught him how to swim.
Oh, so I can just like hold on to the back.
Right here if you want.
Yeah, I might drown.
You won't drown.
I'm gonna try to get.
You're not gonna drown.
He got on that little ass life jacket.
There you go.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Huh?
What's your
Oh,
name?
my name is Marquise. But everybody calls me LeVar because I go to like Denellen.
Are you okay? Are you
Ma'am?
okay? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was okay getting over here. And they think I'm about to swim back. I can't even swim.
Good job right now.
Probably not holding this. And it's my first time here.
It's your
Oh,
first
first time? Well, welcome.
Yeah.
How'd you get over here?
Yeah, what
They made me
happened?
take that way over there, and they had 2 life jackets on. I'm never coming back with y'all.
I bet you not.
We had a life jacket.
A life jacket. This ain't even for a big kid. This for a little kid.
Oh my god.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm never coming back with y'all.
He said, "I'm never coming back with y'all." It's crazy because it don't take long to drown, bro. It just doesn't. Like I remember I took my kids to the lake in Fresno, and we're walking, and I'm telling you, it was only knee high, and I stepped in the hole, and when I stepped in the hole, my whole body went underwater, and like I was trying to swim against the current, bro, and like it kept taking me under, and like, but every time I lifted my head up, I had to tell my kids, go back, don't come this, like, do not come this way. I laugh about it now because, like, bro, I would have been a goner. And the crazy thing is I think all I had to do was like stand up. Like I was trying to swim against the current though. And it's like I was taking in water, but then, you know, like they say black people don't know how to swim. I don't know where the hell they get that from. It's a lot of people that don't know how to swim. I know how to swim. But if that current grab you in the wrong way, I don't care if you know how to swim or not. You a dead man. You good as gone. Sky, you gonna have to go in the house.
How am I gonna get you back home? You don't think Mama Marquise is gonna be worried?
They making jokes like the shit funny
A
though.
boy who couldn't swim was lured into deep water by his own friends and nearly lost his life. The incident happened in Florida when Marquise went to a lake with several boys he believed were his friends. According to video from the scene, the group encouraged him to follow them into deeper water, despite repeatedly admitting that he couldn't swim. As he became increasingly frightened, the boys continued pushing him forward. At one point, they could be heard mocking him while he desperately looked for a way back to shore. Marquise repeatedly told them he was scared and thought he might drown. Fortunately, a nearby family out paddleboarding heard the commotion and realized something was wrong. They quickly approached the boy and helped bring him to safety before the situation became even more dangerous. The video has since gone viral,
you can actually go on their
with many viewers accusing the boys of deliberately putting him in harm's way. Others are calling the family heroes for stepping in when nobody else would. What do you think?
I think teenagers is crazy. Like, white teenagers. My bad, white teenagers is crazy sometimes. You know, you see what they do to people when they fall asleep. But I'm just saying, nah, this ain't AI.
You have a life jacket.
No, I'm black. It doesn't matter. It's not gonna save you.
This another view.
Make no mistake, they were prepared to execute him. For those of you guys who are not aware or haven't seen this video, if it wasn't for this family here, a black boy would have been killed. This family just so happened to be out paddleboarding when they heard a boy screaming, saying he couldn't swim.
I don't think they was trying to do all that, but I know for a fact he was not about to swim across that lake. He was going to stay over there if he had to.
He was being taunted, monkey noises, and they were able to get him out of the situation. He was set up by so-called friends.
You can swim down, River, you fucking retard. Bro, how am I gonna get you back home? You don't think Mama Marquise is gonna be worried?
Wow.
My dad's your mom is always worried about you. I think that's why.
Bro said my dad is in prison. What the hell? Purposely brought him out there to hurt him. He was spooked though. I'm gonna die.
I'm glad somebody commented this. Are these not white people saving him? Yes, these are white people saving him. I'm glad you pointed that out. I would expect that a father and a mother with children seen a person in distress and they came to save them, no matter what color. You pointing out that white people took the time to save them is literally trying to absolve the white people who left him there, stranded on a shoreline, knowing that he could not swim, told him to jump in that water, and then taunted him with making monkey noises and telling him how his mother would be concerned that he never showed up, thus proving how cruel and horrific those people are, and that there is a history and a culture of violence and cruelty in white America. A family saving him should be the normal. What is abnormal is leaving a person stranded and then making monkey noises on the shoreline. That's abnormal. But white Americans have always thought the whole making monkey noises at black people were funny things, right? And the truth of that is they do that because they see black people less than human. And even though you may not been trying to be malicious, you literally are trying to absolve the other racist people in the situation that were okay and comfortable with this black child dying because they ultimately just left him there, laughed it off and paddled away while he was in fear for his life. I'm glad somebody...
Yeah. They left the hell out of him. You know, I don't think they was trying to hurt him, but that I guess people, you know, these kids don't understand the extent of things that they be doing, and they be thinking it's funny until somebody drowns. Then it's not funny no more.
You can swim down, River, you
If it wasn't for this family, this boy really might have lost his life this day. If you haven't seen this video, it made me absolutely livid. This family was out paddleboarding, and they stumbled upon this kid named Marquise. And he was on like the shoreline, and it seemed like his friends left him. And it was taunting him.
That's the one thing that I learned not to do is generalize all people, because you know, you hear me, I say kids, you know, because kids be doing the darndest things. Like they just do the wildest things until somebody get hurt. Then when somebody get hurt, that's when they actually seem like they try to realize what's going on. You know, a lot of times they kids, bro, we grown-ups. Like, we grown. Like we think totally different than them. Like, it's weird because I just had a talk with my daughter because, you know, she's 16 now. And she was, like, telling me we're not as close as we used to be. And I, like, told her, like, when you watch a lot of movies, you see a lot of stuff. You see that as you come into your teenage years, you begin to be different. You're not that same little girl that you was then. You are growing into a young woman now. So things are going to change. You're going to start distancing yourself in different ways because I'm like real playful with my kids. And like now, like the jokes, they don't like it as much as they did. Back then I could do it and it was cool now, and they'll fall for certain things. And, as they got older, they making friends, and then, they make their own little circle. And a lot of times as parents, we still be in it, but not as much. And, and she like kind of cried like, Dad, I don't want this to happen. It's like, well, I mean, this is just it. This is life. You grow up and you different. You grow up and you're becoming a woman, a young woman now. So it's like things are going to just be different.
Making monkey noises and all kind of stuff. He was saying he cannot swim. Obviously, these wasn't really good friends. So apparently they set him up to do this, and he was stuck out there, and his family came and rescued him. They really set this boy up to lose his life. I hope Marquise is okay. And he definitely needs people to talk to him and really explain the severity of these situations and how much of a godsend this family was that rescued him.
Right there, huh? It's like this. One finger is pushed more forward than the other.
Let's get going again. We got this.
Here we go right here, so. So you can see it entirely before you say, oh, hey, that's an AI. AI don't make no long ass videos like this.
It's like,
I'll try to convince themselves that white people aren't as they themselves. Maybe that's how shit continues to keep going. Nah, like it's weird, bro. Like I feel like everybody, like that's with everybody, bro. Like you have white people that are racist and they are different things, but you have a lot of different people that are just weird as fuck, and like we can point out and say, okay, this race is that race is that, and a lot of times they do be, but we already know that. We know this already. It's not something that we have to put upon all of them, you feel me? Because some of them are not. You got some that is, you got some that are not, and it's kind of crazy because the way we visualize the world is something that we were programmed to visualize and see things as a certain way. Like we were born to see the world in a certain way. Like I didn't even talk about this, bro. I just like on Saturday, I think it was Sunday, I had took 4 grams of mushrooms and I dove in, right? Because that's what I do at times. For the ones that don't know, I'm like, I go into these psychedelic experiences just to see and understand myself and the world in a different light than what I look at it. And what I basically was seeing on this experience was my brain was on the inside looking at things on the outside, and it didn't, like, if you took everybody's brain and put it on the table, they would all look the same. They wouldn't have no color on it. This is what I seen. So this is the game that we play as humans. This is the game because we were programmed to play this game. Like from the Bible, from certain teachings, we were programmed to play this race game of, I'm different from you, and so we all play it. And like, we can't point the finger. We can, because some people is just outrageous with it. Some people are. But this is the game we was taught to play, so this is the only way we can really see things. Like, it's the weirdest thing. Like, now it's weird to me. Back in the days, like, I understood it. I was out there playing the same game with everybody, but it's like, despite what you think, I'm not playing that game no more. You could play it. I see it. I understand it, but I just don't want to play it no more. Okay? Period. Period. It's all a game. It's all a trick, bro. Like it's a trick that was developed by the ones that are in control of whoever we want to say they are. And then another thing that I was seeing was how we fight for a system that was always going against us. It was always going against us as a skin color. Now we fight every day to try to change and make this system work for us, but the system never was created for us. But we still fight for that system. And everybody in America, we all fight for it. We all fight for this same system. Look, bro, I'm gonna show you this right here. Cause I get into these conversations and I'm telling you, we so brainwashed. It's so hard for us to see things clearly because we're already taught to think a certain way and look at things a certain way. And we can't step outside of that box, despite what. Now, I'm not saying that box that you in is not real and it's not true at times, but I'm saying it's hard to step outside of the way that we think as humans because we look at things from an American point of view, not just an American point of view, but now I'm looking at it as a black point of view. Then I'm looking at it as a black man's point of view. You know, these are the different ways that we see reality. And then we don't understand we're creating our own demise as we're doing this, despite what anybody else is doing. Like we'll still create our own demise, but we don't understand it. So this is what I always do because I'll be explaining this and then I did so many videos in the past talking about these different kinds of things and how do you say it? And it never came to light. So I'm gonna play this video real fast and show you what I'm talking about to give you a better understanding of what I'm trying to say. And
dreamed about.
I'm not saying that everything that this guy right here is saying is like the factual thing. But if you understand what he's saying, you'll understand how you were trained to think the way that you think. You were trained to be the way that you are right now. It's almost to where the system doesn't have to work itself no more because we've been so integrated into the system that we keep breeding people that keep the same system going over and over and over again. The system don't even have to do anything no more. It does, like we work for the system and then we keep the system alive by doing what we do, but we don't understand that. It's like, and let me go on and play this video, bro. Then so hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. Because when I convey it, I'm gonna say it in my way because this is the way I talk. But hopefully you can understand Chad Boseman. He broke this down in a way that I said, dang, I said, that's it right there. That's what I've been saying this whole time that people will probably never understand because you can't get out of the system that you created for yourself. It's like almost like trying to put Apple parts on a Windows computer. It's not going to work. It's not going to compute. It's not going to take.
Dream was the Muslim Ummah. He just didn't know it. So you hate and you discriminate and you compartmentalize in the West, in America, on the basis of so-called race and on the basis of so-called ethnicity. And then the response is to develop racial and ethnic pride, which consolidates that compartmentalization and further minimizes the genuine basis for determining human value, which is piety and character. It's a self-reinforcing system. It's ingenious in a way. Evil
like
genius.
You hearing? It's a self-reinforcing system. The system don't have to do anything no more. You're already born into it, so you're going to reinforce the system and keep the system going. Because the one thing that people don't understand about reality is when we come up with ideas and we make different parts of the system is real. It's living through us. The system is almost like us. The system doesn't want to pass away, and so it keeps changing itself, but it stays the same. It might tweak itself a little bit, but the system is alive itself, and now it's living through us.
And you can't say, well, I don't see race, I don't see color, and you all should stop thinking in these terms, in racial terms, when the only ones who are supposed to do, or who are expected to do that, are the so-called races that are being hated and being discriminated against. That doesn't work. You understand? It can maybe work on a one-on-one basis to one extent or another between individuals, but not on a societal level. Not when that society itself is organized in racial hierarchy. That doesn't work at all. It's all well and good for an African American or a Latino American or an Asian American or an Arab or what have you. It's all well and good for them to say, well, I don't see race. But the power structure sees race and categorizes by ethnicity, and it deals with people on that basis. So if a so-called...
Now, basically what he's saying, he's telling you, as above, so below. The structure is creating the system, and below, the same thing is happening. We're creating it, we're following it, we're going by it.
A black person says that they don't think of themselves in racial terms. All they're actually doing is helping to obscure the real foundational and fundamental racism that governs the society that they live in.
Wow.
And they're just helping to perpetuate the fantasy that that is not the case. You're helping to exonerate the society of real ongoing racial bias. So by your system, you actually force everyone to emphasize the importance of what the society...
I'm trying to catch these comments at the same time. You said the society is not organized with a racial hierarchy. How isn't it? Who made the system? White men made the system. White men created the system. They didn't create it really for everybody. Now, we can say that because it sounds good being said, but if it was created for everybody, it would be working for everybody, but it don't, because it was not created for everybody. That's just, that's just what it is.
It deems important, no matter how actually superficial it is.
Oh.
And of course, because your society, in reality, does treat this as important, this superficial thing as important, and it judges and it compartmentalizes and it treats people according to these superficial features like skin color. Obviously, these people have been and are treated differently and have a very different experience in that society. That's a reality. And you, therefore, made the insignificant thing significant in real terms. You did that. So you cannot now say, suddenly, I don't see race, I don't believe in race, without nullifying the lived experience of millions of people. And then if they don't agree to that nullification of their experience.
Exactly. Yeah, because the only lived experience you have really half the time is your parents, you and your grandparents. And if you didn't see the racism, I mean, like, bro, it's crazy. It's crazy.
You shift the blame or you shift the responsibility of racialized thinking onto them. And you see this all the time with you people saying, why do black people always make things about race? Why can't they move on? Why are they always using the race card and so forth? No, that society relentlessly racializes people, and it always has. And when that gets pointed out, you accuse the one who pointed it out of being obsessed with race.
But
I digress.
Exactly.
So culturally, you are programmed
I
by your
digress.
entertainment, by your films, by your television programs, by your music, and so forth. I've talked before about the fact that Hollywood keeps making
Just
the same
feeding
horror
the
story
beast.
over and over again. How almost every single
Everybody
movie
feed
is,
the beast.
in fact, a horror film.
Now,
how every protagonist.
Now, look, bro, this is where like I talked about this a long time ago because I never could understand why our saviors were always people that got out there with the gun and destroyed everything. Like every movie we got, if you pay attention to it, it don't matter. Every superhero movie we got, they come in, they destroy shit, kill shit, you feel me? And we make it seem like they heroes. But man, he goes into this pretty good.
By your films, by your television programs, by your music, and so forth. I've talked before about the fact that Hollywood keeps making the same horror story over and over again. How almost every single movie is, in fact, a horror film.
Hey, and as we get there, I'm gonna show you. Look, because I always felt like every story was the Jesus story remastered.
How every protagonist is nothing but a killing machine in all of your films. How your villains and your heroes are morally and practically indistinguishable from another except by means of the plot. Both are always deadly. Both are always vicious. Both are always ruthless murderers. Violence is always worshipped in your cinema. But there's another element to that. it's always a story about how the exceptional individual saves the world. The American comes in from outside and he fixes everything.
And then everybody, look, this is what's crazy, because everybody wants to play and be that savior, because it's following the story of Jesus and what Jesus did, the savior of the world. And they're just portraying it in many different ways, because it's already that story and that belief is already embedded in you. So if I can remaster it, I can change it a little bit and keep feeding you the same story over and over again. Like they just came out with the one dude that make the beats for somebody, and then they come to find out he was making the same beat over and over again, kind of switching it up, but it was the same beat over and over again. This is when you learn the game, bro. They just know how to play it now.
Most often through brute force, most often through violence. The lone hero who does not need the community. He doesn't need the collective. He doesn't need the population, the people. He doesn't need anyone but himself and his courage and his guns and his righteous anger. That's your story. That's the story you tell a million times, every single time. You know, just like the classic Western film, that classic Western movie where the oppressed townspeople need, Clint Eastwood to come in and save the town from some oppressive landowner or rancher or what have you. Like a whole town can't do what one man with a gun can do who's willing to kill. See, I'm saying it trains you to look for a savior rather than to organize. It trains you to worship individual greatness rather than build collective power. It teaches you that the masses, people like you and I, are just for the background. They're extras in the scene.
Exactly. And then if you notice in every movie, like you'll see Godzilla tear a town up, but he becomes the savior. You'll see Superman get into a fight and destroy a whole city. And all the people that were in the buildings, and they don't matter. They didn't matter. This is why we put certain ones on, and I say, man, you need to put yourself on the pedestal. Stop putting other people on the pedestal higher than you. You can't put nobody higher than you, because once you do that, you're giving them your power, your energy. You giving them yourself. How can anybody be higher than you yourself? To me, it don't make sense no more.
They exist to be rescued or to be collateral damage. They don't make history. The special one makes history.
He said, somebody just said that what he said. See, I don't like when that happened. He said, our youth's biggest problem today is mandatory medical ends, $35 a month in 208 and $100,000 a decade for families for illegal votes. That's what's hurting all of us. White savior syndrome. That's why all these whites are adopt colors or animals and say it's a rescue, even when they rescue nothing. I be thinking people not gonna understand it, but I'm going, man, they throw us off and make us go against each other and make us think we stupid. But we understand shit. We know what the fuck is going on, bro. It's just time for us to start changing.
Cheer for him. And usually the only thing that makes him special is just that he's a highly skilled and efficient killer.
That's
it. And then you look at the American political culture and you wonder why people keep waiting for the next Messiah president to come and fix everything. You still believe like that. You've been trained to think like that. You wonder why.
I'm going to say it again. Now, anybody that's been on this channel that know, I said this a long time ago. We looking for the government to save us. We looking for the next mayor to save us. We looking for the next president to save us. It's not going to happen. It's an illusion they've been feeding to us for the longest. Every 4 years, people work themselves up into a frenzy of hope over one or another politician who will inevitably disappoint them. It's because they were trained for exactly that response. Yeah.
The cultural operating system tells them, wait for the hero, wait for Neo, wait for the chosen one, wait for Superman. In other words, it teaches you to be passive. It teaches you to be docile.
Exactly.
While at the same time, forever worshiping raw power. So you see, they set up your whole understanding of the world like this. They set up your whole understanding of the world like this, with this kind of a framework, and they turn the whole world, as you understand it, into an old Hollywood Western. Because they've already trained you on how to play your role in that kind of a story. So you invent the story of some villain and you're the hero, or your country is the hero, and you are the helpless townspeople watching the gunfight rooting for Clint Eastwood because he's the killer who's on our side. He's killing for us.
Hoping to be saved. A lot of people hoping to be, I hope they come and save us.
So for most of the 20th century, the villain in that story was communism. Then it was terrorism. It was Muslims. It was Arabs. Then it's immigrants. And of course, throughout that whole period of time, throughout the entirety of American history, you utilized racial compartmentalization to demonize African Americans.
With the spiritual content at
now
all.
It's just kind of a rotating cast of internal and external threats that keep the population's anxiety at a heightened state and directed at, Muslims, at China, at Russia, at migrants on the border and so forth. Directed there rather than upwards at the class of people who are actually determining the conditions of their lives. This is how they're training you and how they've been training you. It doesn't matter what the target is. The function is the target. The target exists so that you never look
That's a good one.
at who's picking the target.
He said, because of white people, y'all some clowns that will continue to suffer until you take responsibility for saving yourself. That's a good one. I ain't gonna hold you. That's a good one.
For you. And why they're picking that target. And what they benefit from your attention being there instead of somewhere else. And all this time, you yourselves, even while you are being exploited, and I don't deny that you are, and even while you're being oppressed, and I don't deny that you are, even while you're being controlled, and even while you're being manipulated, and even while you are being negated, which I don't deny that you are, you yourselves are also not acting right. Like I said, look, there is the origin of the system, the origin of the culture, which I will talk about, the enforcers of that, the managers of that, which I will talk about. But then there's also all of you, and you are the products of that. And it's a shoddy product by any metric.
Let's see what he said. He said there are DNA consequences as to why a lot of blacks don't swim, but that's such a small part in any argument. That's crazy because I like I said, bro, I got 6 boys and 1 girl, and they all know how to swim. So I don't know too many people in my family that don't know how to swim. I don't know where they get that shit from. You feel me?
And you ought to resent that.
A lot of people don't know how to swim,
though. You ought to be perturbed by that because they made you less and they made you worse than you should be. Worse and less than you deserve to be as human beings. Because after you run this type of a program on a population for 250 years, you don't just get misinformed people. You get a particular kind of a person, a very recognizable type of a person. You get a person whose entire relationship to reality is defensive and adversarial, who doesn't want to get to know things that contradict their self-image, who experiences truth about their society as an attack on themselves personally. You understand? And who has no functional historical memory. Not because they're incapable of it, but because the whole...
It's crazy, bro, because like I be thinking like we don't need historical memory really to tell the truth, because our whole history is embedded in our DNA. It's always been there. It's never been outside of that. That's why as a people, like, we stand out the way that we do, because it's always been there. And like I heard somebody say, bro, you ain't gonna do spiritual stuff on this channel no more. It's like I do, but I get a lot of feedback because like my understanding of life from traveling so much is outside of everybody's thinking. So, you know, and when I do videos like that, you know, it's, I don't know, you know, like, I don't know, people just don't be kind of tuned in, but I'm gonna stay always doing spiritual videos, you know, because it's a certain understanding that's out there that is not seen by everybody, because we're steady playing this game right here. We're playing the black and white game. We're playing the man and woman game. We're playing all these different games. And I'll say it again, if you take everybody's brain out their head and put it on the table, it's going to look the same. That shit just going to look the same. Like, and I'm just saying, it's like, so I'll be, from time to time, you'll see me, I'm gonna be dropping the spiritual videos, you know, like, cause I have not stopped diving in on psychedelics, because I feel like it's so much more for me to see, and being able to step outside of my body. Like, when you step outside of your body, bro, you get a whole different view on life. It doesn't come with all the negativity or the positivity that you built upon time over of being here and getting the different, because we don't understand our information is programmed. We programmed to be a certain way, to where we literally, bro, you can tell somebody their thoughts are not theirs and show them how their thoughts are not theirs, and they still won't accept it. They still won't accept it. They think they the only ones. Like, how you think people know how these people over here think, or these type of people think? Because it's a program. Everybody's thoughts is programmed and it's put out there, and we all grabbing it. And then, you know, and we be in it at the same time. And we start to believe that it is us thinking this way. This is me thinking like this. No, somebody told you that you was this. Somebody told you you was that. Somebody told you follow this code in the streets. Somebody told you to. You're being told and programmed every day, whether you in school, whether you at work. And think about this, right? Why do you think when you go to work, they dress you for that job? Like, you're dressed for that job. To, like, if you work at Target, they put you in a red shirt. You go to Burger King, they put you in that orange Burger King shirt, because they want you to be that thing at work. They want you to be that worker. They don't want you to, you know, like, just kind of be what you are and do it. No, everybody got to be dressed the same, because everybody got to dress the same. Everybody got to act the same. So we are robots. You don't even know you're a fucking robot walking around. You just, like, everybody is just robots, because we programmed to be a certain way. You feel me? Like period. Everybody is. Like, even me. And a lot of times I tear out of it and I step outside of my thinking, but I kind of get brought back because of people. Because it's like, wow, you know, you become that crazy man living on the mountain, because you see these things and you go, hey man, hold on, bro. They doing us wrong. Not just us, everybody. Everybody, they controlling all of us. You begin to sound fucking crazy. And, you know, I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. But let's see what he say. Being fooled, nothing to be ashamed of. That's like being ashamed of getting beat by LeBron in the ball. The shame is that the common practice to benefit from being cold in professions like politics. Yeah. Nah, I'm not. No, I didn't, bro. Look, check this out. He said, you old, you too old. No, I'm not. I'm completely, you know, I just got a different way of thinking. And I like it. You know, I don't care what other people think no more. You know, I used to, because you know, you want to fit in with the like-minded people. You want to fit in with people. So you try to be a certain way. And if you don't be that certain way, you can't fit in. So I'm just saying, like even you saying that, meaning that, okay, my understanding is not like yours. It's not like other people's. So therefore, I'm going to be different. I'm going to be the outcast, but that's okay with me. I love being the outcast, bro. I ain't going to lie to you. I always went against everything I was told. Like, my whole life, that's always been me. I always stepped outside of the box and went against everything, even when I fell for things. But like you said, that shit is right, though. It's right, you know, because a lot of times, like, being fooled is nothing to be ashamed of. It's not. It's nothing to be ashamed of, because you didn't know. So I'm just saying, you didn't know. It say, if any of you claim racism for a type of social leg up, whether it be education, housing, food, monetary, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna take a break, and then I'm trying to push a childlike understanding of the world. Nah, I'm not. Like, that's the last thing I be trying to do. It's not a child. Like, your Bible said, come to me as a child. You feel me? No, I just view the world differently. And like, I look at everything. Like, I don't just, when I look at the world, or I look at how things is going, I don't just look at, okay, people, this is what people are doing. Like how people reaching for the Son of God. But the plants do the same thing. Trees do the same thing. They reaching for the sun. Period. If you see trees, if you go into a forest, some trees are taller than others. They're all reaching for the same thing. because reality is this vibration. It's this thing that, you know, we don't see because we're portraying it to be this thing that we're making. But it all has the same pattern that everybody plays. Like, it doesn't matter whether you plant, animal, insect, it doesn't matter. It's the same game. And like, I just see it like that. You feel me? And I don't know, in order to understand it, you will have to go back. You have to go back to some of my old videos, bro. You have to go back to some of my old videos to where I had my experiences, my psychedelic experience over time. And like, all I did, I wasn't trying to change the way people think. I was only explaining what I seen in my experiences. Like, a lot of times I'm explaining what I seen. Oh, this is what I seen while I was there. You know, I didn't sit down with certain gods like Thoth or Anubis or, you feel me, or Ganesh and not learn anything. Not like the gods that we talk about and we read about, like, picture being in the presence of that entity and being able to send thoughts back and forth telepathically to that entity. There's a lot of things. So it's like, you know, a lot of times it seemed like I lived like 1,000 years in this place, bro. Like 1,000 years over time, just being, you know, in and out, always coming back in order to try to talk to people and make them understand. I don't know. It's like the weirdest thing, but you know, when you dive in, you see your past lives. You see how many times you've been on this planet. Like this, like a lot of you gonna say, this is my first rodeo. No, it's not. Like, you can see that within your DNA, within the person that you are. Like, you can see that within yourself, like who you think you are and what you think you are over time, built up to be this thing right here. Over and over again, you live this life, you live this life, you live this. You just wasn't able to remember it because every time you came into life, we had to wipe you. We gotta go, hey, look, this is what reality is. This is what your name is now. Like, you had kids that came into reality and lived reality and said, hey, I remember I had a whole nother family. Like, you had little kids that were telling stories of whole other families that they had remembering their past lives. We wipe each other of our memories over time. This is what we do in order to build a new reality, to keep the reality like renewed or something. It's like this game that we play, but that's neither here nor there. We'll talk about that another time. I gotta go though, because my girl calling me. Like, if you want racism to truly stop, self-segregate, and everyone needs to learn to get their heads out of their asses and get along. And then, yeah, that's what I feel like too. I feel like being grown, like us as people, we don't even know how to respect each other in the right ways. Like, and like, that's the thing. We don't respect each other like we supposed to. Like, the no matter what race you are, no matter what you are, who you are, we do not fucking have respect for each other. Period. We just don't. That's what we don't. He said, what the reincarnation? Nah, look, bro. Like I said, I'm going to say it again, I'm not spreading reincarnation garbage. So I'm saying, I guess you would have to live it and see it to even understand it. And if you didn't live it and see it, you're not going to understand it. Like I said, sometimes I'm going to say things that's going to be outside of what you believe because you don't understand. You didn't go there. Go take 10 grams of mushrooms and then come back and be like, okay, or just go watch some of these videos of these people that dove in and see some of the things they seen. You feel me? To get a better understanding. But it's hard to do because people don't know how to think like that. People are not going to understand that. Go look at near-death experiences, you know, and then you're going to see the same thing that they're seeing with these psychedelic experiences. So I'm just saying, you know, it's going to be outside of a lot of people's thinking, but that's okay. That's for you. That, you know, that's what you would say. That's what you're supposed to say because it wasn't for you. It wasn't for you. It just wasn't. I said past lives. I said, okay, look, right now, think of your life right now, bro. You're telling me you're not your mother and your father in a body. You're saying that your mother and your father is not your grandparents in a body? You're saying that your grandparents isn't your great-grandparents in a body? The flesh just got passed on and on. The DNA got passed on and on. So yes, every life that lived or came before you is existing within you right now. We know that. That's a fact. That's not nothing that I can just make up. So if every person that came before you, your grandparents, great-grandparents, and so on, is living, you're just a new evolved version of those people that came before you, but they're still existing within you. Their DNA, parts of them are still within you right now. Tell me that ain't true. How is that like? I mean, that my parents, like I can look at myself and I can see my parents within me and know what parts I got from my mom. I know my grandparents. I know my dad before my dad passed. I know what parts of me, when I look at my feet, I go, oh, dang, my feet came from my mama. My dad. My skin came from my mom. The way some of my looks, my nose came from my mom. This part of me came from my dad. I hold my hands, like, go pay attention to your parents and go see how they move and the things that they do. And I guarantee you, some of the things they do, you're going to see yourself doing. And who did they get those things from? The way they moved, the way they acted, the way they smiled, the way they held their mouth, the way they blinked, the way their eyes looked. They got that from the ones before them. Who got it from the ones before them? And it got passed down and down and down and down. Now it's existing within you. Now you're both of those person and all those other people. Even though it's kind of diluted from the ones all the way before, it's still in you. It's still a part of you. But I'm going to say it again. This is why I don't be talking about this, because it's, I don't know, it's a wicked understanding, bro. That's what I always say. I say it's a wicked understanding, period, point blank. But I got to go, man. They don't actually show reality. No, they warp your mind. See, like I said, it was like 3-4 days ago, I took 4 grams, and I'm not gonna lie, that's the one thing that I seen. They do warp your mind. So if psychedelics warp your mind, just think what your belief does. Just think what the things that you are taught do. They do the same thing. They warp your mind into seeing like differently, into seeing life in the way that you see it. That's how come somebody can say something about how they see it, and we'll go, no, that ain't how it works, because we were taught different ways. We were warped in different ways. We were built in different ways. So yes, psychedelics warp your mind, but psychedelics are also take your mind away in order so you can start from the beginning and see from nothing to something. Like, if you understand what I'm saying, it take you all those beliefs, all those that you had over time that built you up. It took you away. It took that away, and then you'll be able to see it just for what it is, without all these ideas and different things that you carry as luggage in order to keep your reality and keep yourself safe, to keep your beliefs safe, to keep how you look at reality safe. Like, it'll take that away and strip you of it and let you see it for what it is. And then we don't like to accept that. Like, that's what we don't like to accept. The belief is not an outside force. That is messing with the chemicals in my brain. It does. Okay, think about this. Okay, why do you think you eat candy? Why do you think you eat ice cream? Now, this isn't your mind making you like sweet stuff, because every part of your body is attracted to something different in itself, because it's its own entity, that which we wouldn't understand. Your taste buds is its own entity. It's telling your mind that ice cream tastes good. When you get fat, your body telling you that, okay, it tastes good, but it's not good for you. Certain things you eat, it might taste good, but it's not good for you, but you're still going to eat it because your taste buds like it. The music that you listen to, your ears like it. Everything gets sent to the brain, but each one is saying something different, and it has its own identity and how it takes in reality. Your eyes takes in reality different than the way your mouth does or your ears does. Each one it's like you're, bro, I always say it like this, it's like you're legion. You're legion walking right now. You don't, like, we don't understand that. You're all these different entities that came together and built this you that you believe yourself to be. All these different entities. You got your eyes saying one thing. Your eyes see stuff and say, I don't like that. But then if you put it on and your skin feel it, your skin will say, oh, it feels good though, but it's ugly. I'm going to still wear it because my skin like it, even though it's not appealing to me. Same thing your mouth does. When you eat something that might be good for you, but it's nasty, you go, I don't want that. I don't want that. It tastes nasty. That's your taste buds making that decision. Your taste buds. Like, I don't care if it make you strong in 3 days. It make you buff in 3 days. Your taste buds going to say, I don't care what it's going to do in 3 days. I don't like it. And we not going to eat it. And we learn that. You learn that from a child. When they was trying to feed you the broccoli and shit and the peas and you was spitting it out. You learn that from a young age. But each one of these things, they play their own position. They say, why do you keep saying that we would not understand? No, I don't. It's just something I say. This can all be shown with science. We all do and have certain towards things. No, it's just the way I talk, bro. Don't get offended by the way I talk. It's just the way I talk. You feel me? Because I say you wouldn't understand because I didn't understand. I did not understand it. You feel me? When I seen something that I liked, I would just eat it. It didn't matter if it was bad for me. I didn't understand. So when I say you, I'm only talking about myself. I'm going, because I don't know you. I'm going off of me. This is what happened to me. That I didn't understand a lot of shit, bro. And I only played the game, like I said. But I'm just saying, like, you know, like, I didn't understand a lot of shit. And I still don't. Because don't nobody know everything and don't nobody know enough. That's just what it is. But don't get offended when I say that. Let's see. You should be speaking of black people. If you're not FBA in these comments, what's up with it, man? Yeah, but I'm just saying, bro, this is the first time I have come across your channel. I like it very much. Can I ask who is the gentleman we was listening to? That's Chad Bozeman. Like, I just, like, you know, like, I don't believe everything that he say, but I like the way he convey it. I like the way he spit it to you. Like the things that, you know, I just like the way he spit it to you. I'm not offended. Oh, I didn't know, bro. My bad. You are making a claim, and unless you state that there is no way to know that. You right. It's whatever, bro. It's whatever. But I gotta go anyway. I think I like my next video, I'm gonna have to do it to where I open it up, because I kind of like, you know, I always did videos in the past. If you go look at my old videos, I did videos in the past to where I like to let people come in and talk, because like a lot of times, like, you know, we'll get to the point to where we feel like we know things. And I kind of like, you know, when other people come in and go, hey, well, it's not looked at like that. I look at it like this, because I feel like this thing is going every which way. Either way, we like, no matter what we say, the way I think, the way you think, it's going to be somebody out there that's going to look at it totally different. And that's just what it is. You know, they're going to look at it the total opposite of how you look at it. And then it's going to be somebody that's going to be in the middle that's going to look at it like you do in the middle. But on that note, y'all have a good one. I had another video. This is the one I was going to do next, but I think I just went on and did it now just to, you know, get a point across. But I thank